Boo! This is Brother Eric. You're in full time, Local 308, Boogeyman. Speaking on behalf of the Justice Coalition with a unofficial, unauthorized, unwanted, totally biased report. A little disclaimer here. There's more than just me at the Justice Coalition, and we don't all agree on everything. So I will preface this with a disclaimer that uh, the views and opinions I'm about to share are mine, and mine alone. So I thought it was a contract action team, but it's actually a campaign action team. And I found that interesting that it was campaign. Because what are we campaigning for? The word campaign is often used for what? Electoral politics. And and I got quite an impression that the leadership, the elected leadership, was focused very much on their, well, Sister Cheryl Bang 'em Up just says it everything so well when she does her little reports. So I had to copy her with this cue card, and this is the message that I got from our meeting. Obey. They want the members to obey them. And understandably so, because in business unionism, the people you elect are there to think and work on your behalf. But that is actually a contradiction to the preamble of our bylaws and our ATU Constitution that clearly dictates that all should be involved in the decisions that affect our union. So let's get started. There were some introductions, and of course, the officers spoke first, and they sat in their nice, comfortable chairs while we sat in uncomfortable metal chairs, and they were up at the top at the table. You know, it's really something. Some of you don't care about that kind of thing, but I'm very keen when it comes to the uh, disdain, even though they say they love us and they say they care for us, but just what they want is what we need to do, and they want our support. They kept saying that they need our support. They need our support. The members need support of the elected leadership. That's what a union is supposed to be. And just because you disagree, it does not mean you are against your union. And that's another thing they kept talking about. The criticisms that they have to deal with. I mean, that's what you got to deal with. You're in the spot. You're paid to just have arrows and poop slung at you. So Dixon said that members are being misled, and from information that comes out of these meetings. And clearly, I was the first one that member that showed up in the meeting, and they were all very unhappy. You could see it in their faces. It was kind of funny. And I'm like, oh God, I hope more than me just comes. And thankfully, some more coworkers showed up. But and they were much more, I could feel the tension go down as more people came in. And so I know he's talking about what I put out there in my reports. It's clear, and it's okay. It's fine with me. Believe me, this according to them, everything I'm telling you is misinformation. And it's good for you to show up, though. You should go to these meetings. And I made sure I got myself some forms so that you could be on their contract campaign action team. So those of you who I see, if I forget, remind me that you want to form, because you should be kept up in what's going on. Um, Pretty much when they say, people aren't giving out the correct information. Again, this is what it's all about. Deborah Lane, secretary, attempted to show a video called "At the River I Stand." So make sure y'all look that up on YouTube. It's supposed to be a pretty cool video about um, organizing, but it wasn't really working. Um, so then she played a video with photos. President Dixon said there's violence against the members, and he wants to come up with group leaders and slogans for each location. Whatever we do is going to take all of us. It's a hard job sitting in these seats. The officers, we want you to work with us and help us. And see, that's the thing. Again, it's a lot of this, right? And the reason why the padlock is there, the lock is there, because it's a lock on information, and a lock on democracy. And this is very harmful to the union. There's a lock on dissent and debate, and they they just don't want to take the time and the effort to gather as many members as possible through whatever means possible to build that democratic organization that we're supposed to be. Um, Violence against the members. So he read a quote from Eugene Debs, which I thought was really cool. He goes way back, one of the founders of the International Workers of the World, back in the early 1900s. I want to share that with you. So, let's see. I can read this. Okay, boys and girls, we're going to read a little story. What can labor do for itself? The answer is not difficult. Labor can organize, it can unify, it can consolidate its forces. This done, it can demand and command. And what's interesting about President Dixon quoting, and this is some ATU material, it's really about organizing unorganized groups that aren't in unions. But what's interesting about him quoting this is that Eugene Debs was a straight up militant. And I remember a discussion with Brother Eric before he was president, and I explained to him how the CTU was reformed by a militant group of members. And he looked at me and said, "Militant? You saying we need to be militant?" And I said, "Hell yeah." And Eugene Debs was very militant, very much about direct action, very much about striking, unapologetic about it, and he was imprisoned. and that's the thing. If you want to be a union president or a union officer, that's at that level of president, is you have to be willing to go to jail on behalf of the members, so that they can make their voices known through action, through public action. And Debs again was part of the Illinois Industrial Workers of the World. Y'all ought to look them up. They're still around in a different form, much smaller, but they are part of the foundation of our organization, the Chicago Transit Justice Coalition, where we promote revolutionary unionism and union democracy. So it was kind of cool to see him read that, but I do wonder if Brother Eric really knows what he's getting into when he quotes Eugene Debs. He was talking about the slow police response. He said we're going to rally downtown. We're going to rally at the mayor's house. So this is the second time he mentions the mayor's house. or CTA locations. He said the CFL and the ATU, Chicago Federation of Labor, and our international union have classes about organizing. We need to have as many people as possible. The message should be, quote, "This is about us, the members," unquote. And that was brilliant. Thank you, Brother Eric. I agree with that. All of this is about us. And just because we're holding you accountable and just because we may be critical of you does not mean we are against our union. Because it's about the members, not you and your feelings. And if members create memes about you and other officers and criticize and make silly things and say silly things or posts that aren't necessarily true or satirical, that's just how it goes. That's democracy. It's messy. Mark Weems, our vice president, said one voice, one message. We have to pull in the same direction. And, I was trying to say, and I always say to everyone, it is not the officers that should be deciding that direction. It is the members who should be deciding that direction. That's what a union is, okay? A real union, a revolutionary union, in fact. But a business union, no. We have to follow the leadership. And again, their big message about that was when they say we have to be on one accord and we have to move in the same direction, we have to ask them who decides the direction. And it's not us, unfortunately. And we have to help change their orientation so that they can understand that. And it may not work, but we should never give up. He said we need an action team. He said 60 people signed up. Only 11 people total, which includes officers, retirees, and active members. Only 11 showed up today. We need one leader per shift for this team. And he started to ask for input. And one of our coworkers, who's also part of the Justice Coalition, mentioned we never see the board members or the stewards. The discipline has been the representation during the discipline, the punishment things, those interviews and fact finding is often weak when it comes to representation. She said she has faith in the leadership in doing the right thing, but was told that and she had mentioned it. I've heard this too. That, we're stupid. Part-timers are stupid for not getting full-time jobs, and it's like, first of all, the options are very limited. She talked about how 5 part-timers applied at the same time for janitor, didn't even get a call, none of them. Some aren't interested in being a train operator or a flagman. That third rail, they don't want to deal with it. That kind of thing. So Brother Mark talked about how we got to rectify the CSA proposal, and he's been cursed out for supporting part-time workers by full-time members. And it's always between a rock and a hard place, and I understand, because I get cursed out about that too. People are like, why do you care about them? And how do we get the people engaged and here? He was asking. We work Saturdays. He was saying that the officers have been working every Saturday now for like a month or something. And I'm like, okay, am I supposed to feel sorry for you? I was like, all right, Sister Cheryl, I'm not as clever as you, but yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. Brother Mark and the rest of y'all. Look, man, you in this job, you're gonna be working Saturdays, okay? A lot of us work Saturdays. You got full-time temporary flagmen that been stuck in that spot and being forced to pick Saturdays. So one of the retirees mentioned the e-board needs to understand their own jobs, and she's very right. She said it seems like the e-boards needs to be held accountable. And uh, get the e-board to join with full-time officers at the work locations. Try to encourage them, right? And I had my hand up, and I started to discuss some things, and I was rudely interrupted. Yes, I was interrupted by the secretary as usual. She got very angry because I said, okay, so can we put a website up? Because she had a projector. I said, could we go to chicagotransitworker.com? And she flipped because I wanted to show everybody the actions page and show how the actions, how few, we have photos of all of our actions that we organized, and these are member organized actions, and how we've been growing, right, over the past 2 years. Also working with Transit Workers Unite in the beginning, and with Brother Eric Slater, but to show that if you want members to participate, let the members be a part of the creation of the actions, not just have to come to meetings or be at a specific time at a specific place, use technology. I couldn't even finish. She freaked. Um, and then of course, I'm like, you're interrupting me. You're interrupting. And I said, you're interrupting me. Blah, blah, blah. And we went back, and then all the other people started chiming in and like, you're being disruptive, and I'm like, wait a minute, you interrupt me, I'm being disruptive. Oh, you're always coming in here and doing all this stuff. What? It was my turn to speak. These people, they are so. It's so sad that they that they are so allergic to anything that I'm saying. I could be saying, look, go to this website because in it is a camera that shows that the other side of the building is on fire. And they're like, we don't want to hear it. So it was sad, but I stood my ground, and the warden even looked over at me and gave me a look, and I said, stay in your seat. And that's the thing they don't like. They want to talk to us like we're their employees. And when I'm at the meeting, I definitely talk with them with tact. But when they start with this silliness of interrupting and hollering at me, oh, I'm going to holler back at them because they're out of line. They're disrespectful. And members, you should be like that with the union officers. Don't feel you have to obey them. They're not your boss. They're not your parents. So I tried to bring up some points about if we lift the part-timers up, we'll lift everyone up. Members should take a stake. Another option, another thing I brought up at another time is, some people have been talking about sick outs and stuff like that, and the secretary got real mad. She didn't like, no. um, Members that complained that some people running for office can't even meet the 6 meeting requirements, and I brought up, well, just get rid of the 6 meeting requirement. No, they didn't like that. It's just like, you don't like anything that removes obstacles from the members participating in you. It's just like, well, the members must participate, but here, let's leave this obstacle here to keep them. Like, even this meeting, they wanted this to be secret, and I'm like, no. And then the secretary quoted Karen Lewis on something, and I brought up, hey, Karen Lewis also said you got to hold leadership accountable. And Vice President Mark Weems like, well, everyone's got to hold themselves accountable. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's true too. But come on, holding leadership accountable is not a bad thing. Okay, it's not anti-union to do that. We also have this calendar. They want us to pass out these calendars. Okay, you saw Sister Cheryl posting stuff like about this. We posted this on the Justice Coalition. So then people know. People have been asking how come there's no elevated lines on here, and there's not. So Sister Penny said that's coming in the next 3 months. So elevated lines, you can expect to see the visitors at the Kimball's on there. Harlem's on there. Okay, so I'm not sure. Okay, I'm not sure what that so I'm missing something. Probably Midway. No, it's on there. but they're on there. You just have to look in the months. So people are saying that the elevateds are being neglected. Uh, it looks like they're not being neglected. So, let people know to just keep turning the pages. You're not going to see the August. You're going to see August, but you may have to look at the other months, okay? Um, and Deborah Lane says she goes out and visits people. She says there's people that want to engage, but they're busy because of work schedule or whatever. There's people that don't care, and there's people that have drive and want to participate. And she said, don't pay attention to the negative people. It probably means, people who criticize the leadership. Little becomes much. She says, I will not allow anyone to sabotage the union. you've done you've done that pretty good by yourself. You don't have to worry about anybody doing that. We need inward organizing. Um, Brother Mark Weems, if you hold true to accountability, it must be for leadership and others. So we set up meeting dates. The next meeting for the contract campaign action team is going to be August 7th, 9 to 12 and 2 to 5. We need more people. Let's see. We need slogans. So we came up with a bunch of slogans. I tried to encourage them to let the membership decide on the slogans for the T-shirts and the signs and stuff. Um, so I think Deborah Lane was amenable to using email. She said we're not going to use social media. Okay. It's funny because that's where a lot of our members are at. It's okay. So maybe she'll do a poll with social media. But we did decide right there, just amongst us, on a slogan to use for um, the T-shirts. So they're gonna take some of the $10,000 for the contract campaign and use that to buy T-shirts for the barbecue. So when's the barbecue? The summer outing. It's August 14th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and there's going to be a band at 2 p.m. So you can get your shirt with a slogan on it. So this is their attempt to try to get members to participate. Now, I was suggesting that the president actually let members speak and then stand behind them, and take the members when he meets with the mayors as opposed to just meeting by himself. Deborah Lane says, we did that. We do that. Oh, okay. So, again, it's I have to say, we have to, all right, organize. And organizing can be done by you and your coworkers. You don't have to just go through the official union office at the official times, at the official meetings. And that's what Deborah Lane was very upset about what we're doing in the Justice Coalition. She says we can't have people all over the place doing different things. And that's the sad thing about what she said. And of course, she's going to say I'm lying. But we need members spread out doing different things because we're not all going to be in one accord. We're not all going to be agreeing with each other. But there's some things we can agree on. And that is we have crappy working conditions. All right? And we don't have a good contract. And we got all these part-time jobs that really we could have so many things better for our whole union if we fought for full-time jobs. I mean, our pension would be a lot better off if we were all full-time. Okay? So, participate, come to these meetings. Um, I'm going to try to post a link later for this application here, so you can be a part of it. Be a part of this stuff. Like I said, there were 11 people there today, Be a part of it. And if you can't be a part of it, organize something else, Even if the union office doesn't approve of it, Speaking of which, tomorrow at 2 p.m., we're meeting the Justice Coalition. We're having our first in-person meeting at Hawkeye's Bar and Grill on 1400 West Taylor. So look it up, Hawkeye's. We also have a link here in the description of the video. Hope to see you there. If you have any, let me just check the stream here and see if you have any questions, and then we'll just sign off. And it looks like we're good. No comments. See a couple of people watching, but no comments. All right, that'll be it. Hope to see you tomorrow, and we'll try to continue to give you updates and other information as we receive it. Y'all have a great Saturday. Peace.